we were looking through. I noticed something. We try to do a little wrestling news stuff here, guys, since we have a lot of wrestling fans. I talked to you earlier about the Bayley Alexa Bliss segment? Did you? I went back and watched it because I heard so many things about it.
I've let's discuss that. I fast forward through. I always fast forward through Raw. I feel like this year is the first time ever amongst my crop of not crop or around the people I talk to, multiple times, including myself. I just kind of turn off Raw, and I didn't watch in detail. So you're probably better off talking without me.
That's funny you say that because I don't watch it as much as like I used to. And even when I was with them, like I would come back and I always had it DVR'd and I would watch the matches usually because during TV days you just usually got your shit and you're busy. All you care about is getting on the road, getting to the next town, and like get the fuck out of there. You're not sitting there trying to, especially TV shows, because the match. It's not like live events where you sit and watch the matches because the guys are actually wrestling. TV is just a whole different animal, unless it's a TV match that has time. But I saw maybe 2 or 3 matches early on, and then they had the hype, like the little promo video for it, and it was just so. I don't know what it was about it, and I was just like, ugh. It just was. And it's cool. It was so. It felt like Nickelodeon to me. If that like which is cool. If you got to have something for everybody on there. So like I'll never hate for them doing stuff like that. It didn't appeal to me. I was like, I just stopped watching the show. But then I'd heard so many different things for the week, so I went back and I told you I'm going to go back and watch this. We'll talk about it. And my DVR actually kept freezing throughout the entire segment and like pausing every like 10 seconds. But I sat through it and I waited and I watched it all. And the biggest thing was the crowd just wasn't really into it. And I think it was one of those things where the crowd, I feel like live events, you get a lot more kids. TV shows, you're getting that fucking mark. That's what I feel like who shows up to TV now.
So they were kind of heckling.
And you could see, if you look, you could see it's older, it's teenagers and guys in their 20s and 30s. And it just didn't, nothing was bad. Like and everybody, like, I'll never talk bad about the talents as far as everybody, and they're just going out and doing their job. But it doesn't help like when you can't acknowledge. Like the crowd is clearly not with it, and you can tell Alexa is just reading her lines.
Of course.
So it's hard. Like it's just the way that it is, and it's not that if you were allowed in it. I don't see why. And it's a great learning experience for her. I felt like she should have maybe kind of gone off on the crowd a little bit and kind of redirected it a little bit, and could have made it a little more than what it was. They just weren't buying it, and you're going to have that when you have that much TV. They're going to buy some stuff, they're going to not buy some stuff, but it wasn't great by any means.
Okay, so, I need to watch it back.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching just to see the crowds chanting delete, and which is pretty creative. I was actually, it was one of those, but you watch it, it was, when they did like The Rock and Sock, like, The Rock, this is your life.
Yeah.
It was just not good attempt at doing that, and not nearly an entertaining of a way. So the girls are actually getting a Money in the Bank match. I think too.
I think SmackDown was dealt a rough hand where they had to start. They were building something big for their program as a whole, and they had the draft split. Whatever happens,
the rosters are thin, and I don't care what anyone. They are very thin,
but they're trying to get something going again, and it's kind of. It's nice to see that everybody's included.
Probably should just let somebody keep their fucking name in their business and everything that they're doing and come back and actually fucking help you. Part-time, of course, but I'm kidding. Keep going.
So the girls are used in a decent way, but I think I know what you're getting at. There was one unhappy camper on the old Raw brand.
You saw that the Nia Jax made a tweet this week too.
Yeah,
which I was telling you, it's you can never. It's you got to understand. It's totally understandable. Like everybody gets frustrated there. Everybody's frustrated there from top to bottom at different points, and it's never. You can never have it your way all the time. But she's been like handed a lot really early on. I feel like
for someone who probably literally started wrestling. What has she been wrestling for more than 2 years? Gets up to the main roster.
I don't know.
Everybody knows why she's there. Not to knock anything that she does, but like you're there for your association with the guy running Hollywood practically. You know what I mean? Like that's not to say that she's not talented in the ring. I think she is.
Yeah, I definitely think she is. I think she's
And
very...
she has a lot of potential and upside, but it was kind of interesting to see someone so brand new kind of,
It's very early on to make a comment like that where...
very ballsy, yeah.
And when I saw that, I told you, I totally understand it. If you're not on TV for a couple weeks, it's frustrating. But her type of character too, it's not like they can just throw her in random. It's like it could be a good thing that you're not on every week. You're getting protected in a way. If you're booked on live events, who the fuck cares? You're making money. Wait till they find something good for you or whatnot. But I told you, it never, when you go and make comments like that about things, it doesn't necessarily, there's no good that comes from that because it's not real sports where you control the outcome. It's writers and Vince and everyone where they can control your character and they can go out there now and just go job her out every week. And she has to either do it or not do it and not
or
get
leave.
Let her leave. And so she puts herself in a really bad position by making comments like that on social media as far as that goes with that. And it reminded me, I told you popped for this when we were talking about it. Back when Tenzai debuted, who was the guy with Tenzai, the Japanese guy at first?
Oh, was it Sakamoto? Was that his name?
Trent loves Sakamoto, I believe.
Does he?
Trent Beretta. But I remember Yoshi, there was like Japanese heat for another Japanese guy coming to the roster. And
Come on. Yeah.
there was something going on. And Yoshi went to social media and made a comment. If it was if we were in a UFC, fucking cool. You maybe got yourself booked for a fight and a payday. But
sure.
In pro wrestling, you can't, you go on there and, oh, I'd like to take Tenzai, blah, blah, blah. I'll kick I'll kick your ass. And whatever the comment, there was something made years ago. And sure enough, the week later, he just got jobbed out on Raw to them. And that's what that reminded me of. No good comes from, anything like that. You learn as you go, and she's young too, I think so. But it is what it is.
I love the idea of Yoshitatsu being like, "Oh, my spot is threatened now by a Japanese manager."
It was not a good spot. Yeah, he picked the wrong fight. He was mad that the Tenzai was playing a Japanese character.
My God.
It was something along the line, and he just debuted. He had, the machine is behind him. At first when he got that a nice little push, and it's that's not the time to make a comment on another guy in a fake fighting world.
I feel like Yoshi got over his first night when he roundhouse kicked Shelton in the head, and then after that, it was just that was the high point.
Yoshitatsu is such just a weird case. He was so loved in developmental at FCW when I got there. Mm-hmm. He came over from Japan, and I don't know all the details, but he paid his dues, and he was a young boy over there, and he had the shit beaten out of him. And he comes over and he wasn't signed, and he eventually got signed to Florida Championship Wrestling, and but everybody was behind this guy. He started learning English, and he really, really applied himself. But I've never seen, it was the slowest heel turn ever, where it just eventually guys just started fucking hating him, and until the entire locker room couldn't stand him anymore. And
in real life,
okay. I never was around him, but I always liked him. I always had good encounters with him, and he was always really nice to me. But a lot of guys, I don't know what he did, but I just saw it backstage and just seemed to kind of go sour at some point. Wrestling's a real world. Everybody talks shit about everybody, I feel in wrestling.
Sure.
I saw Adam Rose at that Heroes and Legends, actually, whenever that was. And we were talking for a little bit, and we were just, I go, I'm sure people talk shit about me left and right all the time. He goes, oh, absolutely. I go, and guys talk shit about you. I've heard it's everybody. It's just the way that it is, and it's like who the fuck cares? I'm talking everybody. It really is one of those things, and I'm sure there's guys I talk to now that have talked shit, and I never sat in the locker rooms. I always tried to stay out of it. I just felt like that was where gossip goes on, and guys just only to go in there to get changed and to fucking get the fuck out of there.